We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Geiger, issue 1. This is from the 2024 series from Image Comics, under the Ghost Machine line. Written by Geoff Johns, art by Gary Frank, colors by Brad Anderson, letters by Rob Leigh. I have cover A by Gary Frank and Brad Anderson. It's a fun pinup, but it tells me nothing about what's going on in the book, which is a big problem with a lot of the Geiger stuff and apparently Ghost Machine in general. So we start off with some locals getting beaten by some bandits that are passing through town, and in the post-apocalyptic waste of the near future, there is only really one person willing to do anything about it or capable, and that is Tariq Geiger, who is the glowing man, as they call him, and he has these sort of superpowers, mostly radiation. So there's a pretty fun sequence where he saves some people, although he lets a few people get beaten pretty badly before he does anything. And while he continues on his way, he does run into a former nuclear knight that he encountered previously in one of the other series. And this is Nate. He's sort of trying to be a better person. He was inspired by Geiger and how Geiger dealt with the Mad King that we saw in the first miniseries. Well, it looks like Geiger's picking him up as sort of a sidekick. He's a little bit of a bungling idiot, which is kind of pathetic. They could have made him somewhat more competent, but despite all this, it does appear somebody is hunting Geiger down, and Nate tells him about somebody that had a similar condition that appears to have been cured. They don't do a great job of going over Geiger's origin in this one, which it's in issue 1. It would have been a little bit better to have had a better recap. They just have this little blurb in the front about the unknown war, which was the catalyst for these events. But Tariq had cancer, and it was an experimental treatment that somehow went awry when it was exposed to radiation from a nuclear blast. I think they could have gone over that better, but this book has a lot of big panels that probably could have been shrunk down a little bit to make room for an extra page origin story, which they don't really do in comics anymore, and that's a little bit frustrating. There are hints at his past in the book, but it's not done really well to recap his origin story. The most you're going to get's like the little paragraph in the inside front cover, which at least they put it on the inside front cover, but there is a lot of wasted space. There's an entire page that just says 25 years from now. You didn't need a page for that. That could have been done in one caption box on the first panel. There's also a 2-page spread where Tariq is on one page and mostly a horse and his dog on another one. So that was like off-centered and looked kind of awkward. It looked more like a wraparound cover than an actual panel in a book. So my main complaint about this is just that the art is predominant in weird ways that it's just there to take up space. And yeah, it's very well done art. It just seems like they're cutting corners to make it look like the book is actually longer than it is, which was my main complaint about the original miniseries. So I thought the story was okay. It's just a little slow going. Like so many of these, it seems to be written toward the trade paperback, and it's got a bunch of really big panels for no reason. There are times where you only have 2 to 3 panels per page, and there are other pages where there's enough wasted space they could have shrank the panel down and wedged in a couple more and shortened the book. If you really made this a little bit more condensed, it probably would have been half the length. So is it worth $4? Not really. The art's good, the story's okay, but there's so much wasted space here, it's insulting. So I will recommend it just because it is a well done book. It's just overpriced for the amount you're getting. It's deceptive in its use of space. Quality of the paper's good though, so there's that. And I didn't hate the story, so I'll probably pick up issue 2, but I'm going to try and find it discounted somewhere. So if you can find it for $2, maybe $3, I would say get it then. Otherwise, just wait for the trade paperback and try and get that discounted. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.